Alrighty, welcome to another episode of the Rejuvenate You series. Today, let me ask you another question. What can you do? So, on this journey, we started by asking who you are because true rejuvenation begins with identity. When you remember who you are, something begins to shift on the inside. Then we asked, what do you have? Because renewal continues when, realize you're not empty. God has placed capacity within you. After that, we asked, what do you see? Because rejuvenation also requires restored vision. How you see yourself, the promise, and the future matters a lot. But today, let's take it a bit further. We come to the place where renewal begins to move because rejuvenation is not meant to leave you stagnant. It restores you so you can rise. So the question becomes, what can you do? Yes, what can you do? There's a scripture many of us know so well, Philippians 4 verse 13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. You see, this verse is not about pressure or performance. It's about empowerment. It's about strength being supplied where weakness once lived. It's about stepping out in faith. Rejuvenation is what happens when God's strength meets human limitation. Ability in the kingdom is not rooted in self-confidence. It is rooted in God confidence. When you are rejuvenated by His presence, your ability expands. Not because life suddenly becomes easier. No. But because you're no longer moving in your own strength. Scripture also reminds us that it is God who works in you, both to will and to do of His good pleasure. Even the desire to try again, to move again, to hope again, that desire itself is evidence of renewal. So sometimes we wait to feel strong before we act, but rejuvenation often begins as we move. It often happens as we move. Peter didn't step out of the boat because he felt capable. No, he stepped out because Jesus called him. So strength meant in obedience. So this is where many people get stuck. They remember who they are. They recognize what they have. They can even see where they are going, but fear convinces them they are still unable. And so God gently reminds us that His strength was never meant to replace effort. No, it was meant to empower obedience. Remember, His grace is sufficient for you. God doesn't wait for you to feel whole before He strengthens you. No, He meets you in your weariness. He meets you in your weakness and gives you strength. So when we ask, what can you do? We are really asking, what can you do now that you're being renewed by God's strength? You may not be called to do everything. I don't think anyone is. Rejuvenation is not overload. It is alignment. It is doing what this season requires with grace instead of strain. So today, I invite you to move gently but intentionally, not striving, not proving, but responding. What is one step God is inviting you to take now that your strength is being restored? Please take that step in faith because rejuvenation restores your identity, renews your capacity, clarifies your vision, and then strengthens you to move. You're not empty. You're not confused. And you're not unable. Through Christ, you are strengthened and rejuvenated to do what this season is asking of you. So take the step in faith. So remember, as you continue in this journey, feel free to journal through your process. Reflect on every question and write your answers down. You can keep using the free Rejuvenate You workbook I shared earlier. The link is always in the video description. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please, what are you waiting for? Kindly do like this video. Please leave a comment and share with your loved ones. Until I see you in the last episode of Rejuvenate You. Yes, you heard me right. The last episode. Stay tuned. God bless.